Shalom, shalom, Israel, shalom to the 12 Shas Yasha Allah. Giving, of course, all honor and glory and praise unto Yahweh Ba'ashem, Mahashiach, Wamalak Yahweh. That's all praises, honor, and glorification unto the Most High God, Yahweh, in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shah. This is Brother Yasha Allah coming back to y'all with me up. Another video through the Spirit and power, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Mahashiach Yahweh. All right. Ashar, Feast of Unleavened Bread for all that's observing it this week. Lord willing, you're making your unleavened bread. Lord willing, you're staying away from that yeast, that leaven, right? And also purging out that leaven spiritually, right? In your spiritual house, your spiritual temple, which is your body, right? But yeah, so this is a Proverbs chapter 20, verses 1 through 7 breakdown, all right? I'm not planning to make this too fast or it's like it too long, right? But we just gonna go through these verses, all right? Because remember, Proverbs, right? Let me get this. And let me drop the link in. Right. Let me also like it. Right. Let me put this link in here. Right. So Yishmael, he can get the work. All right. No, I'm just kidding. But Khan. Yeah, the link's right there. Right, but Khan. Just wait for him to hop in here. But let me get this precept first before we hop in there. So Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 1. The Proverbs of Solomon, the king of David, the son of David, king of Israel, to know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding, to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, and judgment and equity, to give subtlety to the simple, to the young man knowledge and discretion. So we're trying to give discretion, right, to Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom. So brother, get mighty Yishmael on the scene. All right. Come on. But yeah, so yeah, let's get into it though. Without further ado, right?
Come on. You want me to read for you?
Come the water.
Come. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 20 and verse 1. It reads, "Wine is a mocker, strong drink is raging, and whosoever is deceived thereby is not wise."
That's right. So wine is a mocker and strong drink is raging, man. Right? You have to be careful. You know what I'm saying? You have to be careful with these types of drinks, right? These alcoholic beverages, right? Because look, it's a mocker, it's raging, right? And whosoever is deceived thereby is not wise, right? Meaning that what? You're drinking on it, right? You're drinking wine, you know, you're turning up in the spirit and righteousness, but then you might drink too much, right? And now you're deceived by it, right? On a physical level. You're deceived by it. Now you're drunk, you're all off. Right? And some brothers, they might have got drunk on the Passover, man. Right? That's off. You can't be deceived by, you know, a strong drink. Right? You got to be careful. You know what I'm saying? You got to be wisdom in this thing. Let me get this precept. That's right. Right.
You got it.
This precept. Sorry, right. Come on. Sirach chapter 31 and verse 25. Show not thy valiantness in wine, for wine hath destroyed many. So straight up, wine hath destroyed many, man. Right? And you're not to show your valiantness in wine, meaning that what? Well, you show that you show, right? Because some people, they do that in the world, right? They, you know, they boast about how many shots they can take and whatnot, like that. It's off. Personally, because wine has destroyed many. You know, even we read that account in verse Ezra chapter 4, you know, they had a debate about what's the strongest, women, kings, or wine, right? Wine was one of them, I believe, right? Wine was one of them. That's so wine is a mocker, a strong drink is raging, right?
Salah, I was on mute. Can you hear me? Come.
I can hear you.
Oh, praise. This is the book of Psalms, right? Or did you have another precept, Salaki?
No, you got it.
Come. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 70. It's a lag. You see that?
Oh shit! Oh that.
Con. Well, I'm gonna bring it out regardless. This Psalm chapter 79, was like it 78 in verse 65. It reads, "Then the Lord awaked as one out of sleep, and like a mighty man that shouteth by reason of wine." Man. So even when it comes to the second coming of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, right? That when he awakes, he's going to awake like a mighty man at the strong wine, right? That's why we just read in Proverbs chapter 20 and verse 1 that wine is raging, man. Wine is a strong drink, right? That is a mocker, man. Because at that day when all hell breaks loose and the Lord cracks the skies open, he's going to be like a mighty man that is off of the wine. And you know how Jake get when he's off the yan. He kind of screaming, yelling, his voice get extra loud out of nowhere. He start getting kind of aggressive. Hey, that's how the Lord gonna be times 10, right, for completion in that day of trouble, man. Become.
That's a good point too, man. That's a good point. Good precept, man. Because Jake when he drinks, bro, he gets hella loud. You know what I'm saying? Jake when he drinks, he's getting hella loud. Like I remember, when you go to these, like Jake family reunions and stuff, they start drinking. At first it's all cool. You know what I'm saying? They might be putting something on the grill and whatnot, and at a family reunion and stuff. They getting together and stuff like that, and they start get to the drinking, right? All hell starts breaking loose. It's hella loud, right? Kind of. Yeah, that's a good point, man. All right. That's why you gotta be careful. You gotta yeah. You had another point or
You want me to go back to that in Proverbs 2 or Proverbs 20? Salakia.
Yeah.
Con.
Con.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 20, and I'm gonna read verse 1 again. Wine is a mocker, strong drink is raging, and whosoever is deceived thereby is not wise. The fear of a king is as the roaring of a lion. Whoso provoketh him to anger sinneth against his own soul.
You see that? So you gotta also use wisdom when it comes to kings, man. Right? And that's why, when we read in Acts, that's why these Christians don't know what's going on. Right? That's how they don't read the Proverbs. They don't read the law. They don't read. All they read is Matthew, John, Acts, Romans, right? First Corinthians, Ephesians. They hit that. You know what I'm saying? Right? They read selected verses. Right? They read Psalms. I don't know. Right? Psalms. They read a little bit of Psalms, but they don't read the Proverbs. This is where the wisdom's at. The books of wisdom. Wisdom, Solomon, Proverbs, Sirach. All throughout scriptures, really. But that's how you know, because in Acts, right? Paul, he used wisdom, right? When he was standing before King Herod, that's like King Agrippa, when he was standing before King Agrippa, he wasn't, he wasn't out like he wasn't talking to him like how he would talk to Jake out when he's doing the work. You know what I'm saying? Or out when he was out when Bible. He wasn't yelling and saying, King Agrippa, you a damn Edomite. The Most High is going to destroy you, because he was using wisdom, right? So the fear of a king is as a roaring of a lion. Whoso provoketh him to anger sinneth against his own soul, right? Meaning, hey, you're bounded to your own destruction, man, to your own demise. So sometimes you got to use wisdom, right? But
Quick precept. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 16 and verse 14. And it reads, "The wrath of a king is as messengers of death, but a wise man will pacify it," man. Right? So a wise man is going to pacify, right, or do whatever he can, right, in his power to be able to pacify, right, or subdue, right, or lower the wrath of a king, right? Because we understand that kings are in subjection, are in authority to all things whatsoever, man. Right? The brother brought out, we was just talking about the wine, right, within First Esdras, the fourth chapter, right? But one of those things that was also debated was the king being the strongest. All right, let me get this
Con.
quick precept. This First Esdras chapter 4 and verse 3, it reads, "But yet the king is more mighty, for he is the Lord of all these things, and have dominion over them. And whatsoever he commandeth them, they do. If he bid them to make war, the one against the other, they do it. If he send them out against the enemies, they go and break down mountains and walls and towers. They slay and are slain, and transgress not the king's commandment. If they
Mm.
get the victory, they bring all to the king, as well as the spoil all things else. Likewise, for those that are no soldiers, that have not to do with wars, but use husbandry, when they have reaped again, they that which had sown, they bring to the king and compel one another to pay tribute unto the king. Right? And basically, as you continue to read the entire chapter, these are going into about basically the king has dominion over everything. Right? He's able to tell a man to go to war, right, and put his life on the line. And guess what, man? That man is gonna do it, man. Right? He's able to tell the men that have vineyards, right, and do all types of gardening, right? And he's able to reap, right, what it is that they've planted, right? Because he's the king, man. Right? Same way in the Babylonian Empire with Nebuchadnezzar, man. He was the king, right? And in Daniel the third chapter, if you wasn't getting down with what the king was saying, man, you're gonna end up like, those three holy children that got, tossed into the furnace because they transgressed the king's commandment.
Con. Hey, Con, that's right. The scriptures show, right, the power that kings had. For example, the brothers bring out good examples. Another example is when you read the account of Esther, the king Ahasuerus or Artaxerxes, as someone say, he said, look, Slack, let me just get it real quick, right?
Come, yeah, you gotta bring that out.
Con. This is the book of Esther, chapter 8 and verse 8. Write ye also for the Jews, as it liketh you, in the king's name, and seal it with the king's ring. For the writing which is written in the king's name and sealed with the king's ring may no man reverse. You see that? So, hey, that's crazy, right? Because if you write something in the king's name, right, you put the king's ring there, the stamp, right, and you write it in the king's name, and you set that and you seal it, right? Hey, that decree, everybody got it. Everybody got to follow it, man. If you said everybody shall wear fringes in my kingdom, right? You seal it with the king's ring, seal it with the king's name. Everybody got to do it, man. They got all right. How you make them? All right, border blue. Okay, come. And they got to do it, man. Right? If you say,
Come,
come on, everybody must wear some damn, I don't know, a damn. But everybody got to eat chicken on Thursday, right? Whatever. You got to do it. The king. You can reverse it. You can be like, you see the decree. Now we ain't doing that, bro. You just throw it in the trash, right? Or you reverse it. Because remember, when you read the account, Haman, the king straight up reversed Haman's decree, but nobody can reverse the king's decree. You see that? So that's the power of the king, man.
Hey, Salaki, real quick, also to touch on that king in the book of Esther, they say even if you were found within the court without having permission of the king, man, you were to be put to death, man.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
That's right.
also to go, to show how much authority and power and dominion that kings have, and how you should be wise when it comes to dealing with these kings. Right? I'm gonna read it again, Proverbs 20 and verse 2. The fear of a king is as the roaring of a lion. Whoso provoketh him to anger sinneth against his own soul. Right? Because hey man, you basically setting yourself up for damnation, man. He has the power to put you to death. He has the power to have your family put to death, right? He has the power over these things, and you basically transgressing yourself. You're not looking out for your
Right.
damn self.
Mm-hmm.
You want me to keep reading, King?
It's like I had one more precept,
Con.
right? This is Proverbs 23 and verse 1. When thou sittest to eat with a ruler, you see that, and the king is a ruler, consider diligently what is before thee. You see that? So you always have to be circumspect when it comes to people that have power over you. You know what I'm saying? Great authority, right? You always have to be, but
Was it that?
no.
Alright.
You always have to be circumspect and use wisdom, right? That's why Yahushua told us in Matthew chapter 10, verse 16, be therefore harmless as doves, but wise as serpents. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mighty point, man. Right. Hey, and another point, right? Touching on Proverbs 20 and 2. We know who the King of Kings is. You know, that's Yahweh Shai, man. Right. We know that he's coming back like a roaring lion. Right. So, you know, even if you provoke the Lord to anger, you're sinning against yourself, man. Are you setting yourself up to get, you know, shot down, beamed down by a damn either a nuclear missile, right, or a damn chariot beam, man? You know.
That's right. Yeah, that's a good point too. This could also be a reference to Yahweh Shah himself, because we know who the King of Kings is. Right? You definitely don't, you definitely don't want to provoke him to anger. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah, we can keep going in that.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 20 and verse number 3. It is an honor for a man to cease from strife, but every fool will be meddling.
And that's true. It's an honor of a man to cease from strife. It's an honor of a man, you know, he's in contention with another man, and the other man, you know, he just walks away, right? He could fight him, right? He could get down with him, but no, he just says, look, it doesn't even matter, right? I'm just walking away. Or he can make it right, you know what I'm saying, and appease that strife by doing, you know, something in righteousness, right? That's an honor of a man. Let me get this precept. Proverbs 15 verse 18. A wrathful man stirreth up strife. So a wrathful man, meaning a man that's full of wrath, full of anger, he's going to stir up strife, right? You know, he's going to, this man that gets, you know, soon to be angry, like it says in Ecclesiastes 7 and 9, right? You're soon to be angry, right? Hey, this man, he's going to stir up strife wherever he goes, right? What you looking at, right? What you looking at? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's unnecessary, right? But, hey, it says, but he that is slow to anger appeaseth strife. So the brother, you know, that's slow to anger, remember, in this, the man that's slow to anger, these are wise men. But it says, he that is slow to anger appeaseth strife. He's going to appease strife. How are you going to get contentious with a man that never gets angry, right? You're trying to provoke him anger so much. This man's just like, all right, you know what I'm saying? It's cool, right? It's all right. Whatever, right? Yeah, Khan. You see that? Khan, you got it.
That's a powerful point, man. Because a man that is able to rule over his spirit, man, he's better than the man that is able to, you know, conquer a city. I'll bring that piece up real quick. All right. Did you bring that up? Proverbs 16 and 32?
You got it.
Khan. It's Proverbs 16 and 32. He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city, man. Right, so if you're able to rule over your spirit, able to you know, control that strife, control that anger, man, you're better than the man that is able to take over a city. All right, one more quick precept through the spirit. This Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 26. Be ye angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath, man. So even when it comes to your wrath, your anger, your strife, your contention, the Lord said, let not the sun go down while you still have that thing, man. Are you supposed to hash out any type of problems, cast it away from you right before the sun goes down, right? Playing upon tables, right? If you had another piece, I got another one, but if you got one, you jump in there.
Khan, no, you got it. I'll give one after you.
Khan, wanted to touch on well, if you still going into the strife, you got it. I was gonna go into the second part of the verse.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I was gonna go into the second part of the verse too.
That's the spirit. You got it, kid. You can go first.
All right, the water, right? This is Proverbs chapter 26 and verse 21. As coals are to burning coals and wood to fire, right? So is a contentious man to kindle strife. You see that? So a contentious man is saying the same thing, right? A contentious man is going to kindle strife, right? Just like how you kindle a fire, right? You go to a gas, was it like a gas stove? It's like and then it's a right
Uh,
the fire kind of springs up. And contentious man is that easy, right? To kindle strife, that easy. You know what I'm saying with that kind of man. And the man that's wise and he knows how to control his spirit is going to be like, you're going to be taking forever. You're like, what the hell is wrong with the stove, right? It's never going to kindle that fire. You know what I'm saying? As the same man or as a man that is contentious in all his ways, right? Become.
mighty point, right? This
Very
this Sirach or Ecclesiasticus chapter 11 and verse number 10, because the Lord said every fool will be meddling, man. Right?
Mhm.
It's Sirach chapter 11 and verse 10. My son, meddle not with many matters, for if thou meddle much, thou shalt not be innocent. Right? So if you constantly right getting yourself in situations and business and matters that do not concern you, that's considered meddling, man. Right? And if you continue to do that, you're not going to be innocent whenever some type of decision or some type of judgment has to be made. Right? You're going to be held accountable as well. The Lord said, and if thou follow after, thou shalt not obtain, neither shalt thou escape by fleeing, man. You're not going to be able to flee from that judgment. You're not going to be able to escape, right? You put your ear into something you wasn't supposed to be, putting your ear into, right? And now you have to be held accountable, right? That's what the Lord said. Every fool will be meddling, right? Because only a fool is going to meddle, right, in matters of other men, right, where there's strife and contention, right, and anger all in the air, man, right? Mind your business, basically what the Lord is saying, but calm.
That's a good point. A good precept, man. Con. But yeah, I also got this other precept too.
Bring it out.
Um, Con. Let me see what this is. Proverbs chapter 29, Proverbs 29 and verse 22. And it reads, all right, Proverbs 29:22. An angry man stirreth up strife, and a furious man aboundeth in transgression. You see that? So the same thing, right? An angry man, he's going to stir up strife, man. You know what I'm saying? He's going to be fighting. You're going to see him arguing with somebody. You know what I'm saying? With some random person. You know, that's the angry man. He's just holding that anger in his spirit all day. You know, that's not wise. You're a fool. You're a fool. Be meddling, like the brother said, right? The brother brought out the good precept for that in Sirach. You know what I'm saying? Mind your business. Come on.
Mhm. Mighty points. Mighty points.
Oh, all praises, man. But yeah, we can
Uh,
keep going in that. Come on.
all praises. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 20, and verse number 4. The sluggard will not plow by reason of the cold. Therefore shall he beg and harvest and have nothing.
Con. So it's lucky. Yeah. I'm just texting my but this is a con. But it says what? That the slugger would not plow by reason of the cold, right? So look, man, the slugger, right? Let's get some precepts on the slothful and the slugger, man. Right? This is
Mm,
Proverbs 10, con. Proverbs 10 and verse 4. He becometh poor that dealeth with the slack hand, but the hand of the diligent maketh rich. So if you're dealing with the slack hand, meaning you're slothful, right? You don't like to work. You know what I'm saying? You never work. Like just lay on the couch all day, just laying up in your house, right? This slugger is talking about by reason of the cold. Because sometimes, there might be snow outside your house if you live around snow. Like, here in Cali, you don't really get snow, right? We don't get rain, we don't get snow. But brothers or sisters that may live where snow is, sometimes you gotta, depending on, where you live, sometimes you gotta, shovel up the snow, right? So you can get outside your house. But the sluggard, because he's slothful, because he's lazy, because he doesn't want to do anything, because it's cold outside, right? And it doesn't even have to go into what? Plowing up the snow. You just be going into any type of work, right? Because it's cold, I can't do anything. Because when you're cold, you're uncomfortable. You don't really want to move, right? But because he's cold, right, he's not going to be doing that. Look, man, you got to pick it up, right? Pick up, get up, right? Pick your ass up, right? Lack of better terms, and get to work, right? The slugger will not pop a reason to be cold. And it's cold outside, right? It's cold outside. I'm not going to work. Right? Yeah, but I said, it's cold outside. I'm not going to work. Well, then you're just going to be poor then, right? Your lights are going to go up and can't pay your bills. Man, it's cold. Well, I was going to go to camp, but nah, it's cold. Like, you got to eat. Look, that's the mind of a slugger right there, right? Which says, therefore, shall he beg and harvest and have nothing. You're not going to have anything, right? Just because it's cold outside, right? And just because you're lazy, you don't want to do anything, right? You're going to have nothing. Khan, you got it.
Khan, that's a mighty point. Mighty point. I wanted to find this precept, all right, in the book of Proverbs. I believe I want the 22nd chapter. All right. I ain't gonna waste too much time on that though. I'm gonna get this proverb, this precept in Sirach. Might have to come back to it. This Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus chapter 22 and verse number 1. A slothful man is compared to a filthy stone, and every one will hiss him out to his disgrace. A slothful man is compared to the filth of a dunghill. Every one, it's like every man that takes it up will shake his hand. And that's playing upon tables, man. The Lord said a slothful man is compared to a dunghill. Right? We don't have to get too explicit on what a dunghill is, man. Right? Same way that the Lord is saying in the book of Proverbs, chapter 20 and verse 4, right? The slothful man, he's not going to plow in the region of cold. It's too cold outside, as the brother was saying, man. Right? He's not thinking long term. Right? A slothful man, he's thinking in the moment. Right? He's not thinking about the times when he's going to have to be hungry. He's not foreseeing the evil, prescribed in the Proverbs chapter 27 and verse 12. Right? He's living in the moment, right? And inevitably, man, it's going to lead to his destruction because he's not going to have anything in the time of harvest. Right? See if I can find this precept this time. May have to just forget about it, but Lord willing to come to me. If you got one, you can bring it out, King.
Con. Yeah, let me get this about the slothful, right? Because I believe, because you know how they have this so-called 7 deadly sins, right? Good. And I believe, Khan, I don't know if I'm not mistaken, one of the so-called 7 deadly sins is slothfulness, right? Now, it's not we can't really say that it's a sin because a sin is transgressing the law, right? And the law doesn't say thou shalt not be slothful. But it's not wise. It's not expedient at all. You know what I'm saying? We're reading it right here in Proverbs and throughout the scriptures that a slothful man is bad, or it's not expedient to be slothful, right? Even in Romans, right? Don't be slothful in business. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Paul, you think Paul was slothful? No, Paul was one of the hardest working apostles ever, man. Right? Fervent in the spirit. You know what I'm saying? But this is Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 24. And this goes for anything, right? You got to be working hard for the Most High. And secondly, you know what I'm saying? You can work hard for the Most High, but if you're not providing for your family, you also got to provide for your family too. You got to work. You know what I'm saying? You can have a job in this captivity, right? You can have your own business in this captivity, but you can't just lie around and just watch videos all day, right? Sometimes you got to get off your butt, right, and actually put in work, man, right? Whether that's for, first and foremost for the Most High, and secondly to sustain and to survive in this captivity. can't just be living at a brother's house all day. It's like all your life. You're just living at your parents' house all your life. You're just living at your brother's house all your life, and they're wondering when you get out the house and try to get your own spot, right? When you get a job and stuff like that, right? These things, hey, we have to do, right? And a slothful man, he's not going to be able to looking for jobs, right? He's not going to be looking for jobs like, he's not going to apply for interviews, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? He's just going to be sitting down. Proverbs chapter 12, verse 24. The hand of the diligent shall bear rule, right? But the slothful shall be under tribute. So the slothful, he's going to be under tribute. On a spiritual level, this is going into what? The brother that's not putting in the work, he's just going to stay in this captivity. He's content. He's just going to be like, well, we're in Babylon the Great. We're being oppressed. I'm in this sinful body. We're not ruling, right? And you got Edomites over me. It's whatever, right? It's whatever. He's content. He doesn't care, right? But the man that wants to be delivered, he's going to be putting in that work that he needs to put in, all right?
This is a mighty point. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 13. The slothful man saith, there is a lion without. I shall be slain in the streets, man. You see that? So a slothful man, hey, the Lord said, he's just going to say that there's a lion in the streets, man. And I'm going to be slain. He's not going to run for his life. All right. He's not going to try to flee and escape. All right. He gonna be that Jake that's standing in the street while the lion is there. He going to point at him, right, and say that, hey, I'm going to be slain, man. This is it. Right. And that's how bad it is to be a slothful man. Right. You won't even, make haste to flee from a damn lion, man, because you that damn slothful. You gotta be mad. You gotta be mad slothful to not flee from a lion in the streets, man.
Gone.
That's it on that, King.
Gone, mighty point, man. All right. But yeah, we can keep going in that.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 20 and verse number 5. Counsel in the heart of man is like deep water, but a man of understanding will draw it out.
That's right. So counsel in the heart of man is like deep water, right? And sometimes because your heart is going into your mind, right? Don't think it's not your literal heart, right? I'm in human anatomy and physiology right now, right? I'm taking that class, But basically, it's not talking about your heart because your heart, it does not have a brain. Your brain is your brain, right? Your brain is the thinking side of your body, right? Your heart, all it does is pump blood, right? It has arteries, it has the ventricles, it has, the veins and the arteries that, allows it to pump blood, right? Your heart doesn't do any thinking for you, all right? So your heart is going into your mind. But it says that what? Counsel in the heart of man is like deep water. So, you could be, thinking about stuff and your thoughts are going to be like deep water, right? What does that mean, deep water? Because when you look at deep water, it's endless, right? It's just, going to and fro like the waves of the ocean, going to and fro, endless, deep. You could be stuck in there like your thoughts. Because let me get this precept, right? You can almost drown in your thoughts. Like, man, what if this? And you just thinking about stuff. You sitting there thinking for 30 minutes, right? Just thinking about stuff, right? People actually do that. People daydream and stuff like that. But you could be in your thoughts for like, a hella long time, right? Because counsel in the heart of man is like deep waters, right? This is Sirach chapter 37 and verse 14. For a man's mind is sometime wont to tell him more than 7 watchmen that sit above in a high tower. You see that? So a man's mind is like 7 watchmen that's sitting upon a high tower. They're going to tell you 7 different things, and seven is a number of completion. So, brothers might be thinking about stuff like, damn, what if this? And then, but nah, that can't be it, right? It's like deep water, you know what I'm saying? But Khan, you got it.
Mighty point. It's the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 9, In verse 14, it reads, "For the thoughts of mortal men are miserable, and our
Mm,
devices are but uncertain," man. Right? So your thoughts as a mortal man, they're miserable. You constantly going back and forth with yourself. Your thoughts are getting deeper and deeper, right? You
mm,
playing, 100,000 different scenarios in your head at one time, man, trying to, figure out what the outcome is going to be. All hell be breaking loose in your mind, man. The Lord said,
mhm,
verse 15, "For the corruptible body presseth down the soul, and the earthly tabernacle weigh down the mind that museth upon many things," man. Right? So since you're in these corruptible body, man, corruptible bodies, it's going to weigh down your soul, man. It's going to make things harder for you. All right, verse 16. "And hardly do we guess aright at things that are upon earth," man. The Lord said, man, we hardly guess aright the things that are upon the earth. Man, you rarely make the right decision, right? You rarely, choose good from evil. Man, you rarely do these things, man. Here it is, man. You were supposed to go left, right? And you thinking in your mind, you know what? Right is the way to go. We finna go right. Hey, the Lord said you hardly guess right, man. That wasn't the right decision, right? You tripping, man. But of course, we know man's goings are of the Lord, right? Another
con,
precept, this Sirach chapter 30 and verse 21. "Give not over thy mind to heaviness, and
mm,
afflict not thyself in thine own counsel," man. But that's
con,
why in Proverbs, right, chapter 20 and verse 5, the Lord said that the counsel of the heart of man is like a deep water, man. Like the brother said, it's endless, right? You get deeper and deeper and deeper, right? And if you get deeper and deeper into your thoughts, or you're inevitably, man, going to start afflicting yourself in your own counsel, right? That's why it says, "But a man of understanding will draw it out." You're gonna draw out that water, man. You're gonna draw out, the understanding, right, and be able to make the decisions that you need to make, right, without, afflicting yourself in your own counsel. Kind
con. Those are mighty points, right? Con, all praises. That's right, man. That's right. And that's why, going off what the brother was saying, that's why inside Sirach chapter 23, there is a prayer, right? That's written there to scourge your thoughts, right? Because we know that
um,
because hey, we all know that men's thoughts are what are like deep waters, and they just keep going on and on. Sometimes you gotta scourge them thoughts, man. And really stay focused, right? Sirach chapter 23. I'm not gonna read the whole thing. I'm just read 1 through 2, right? This is Sirach 23, verse 1 through 2, right? It says, "O Lord, Father and Governor of my whole life, lead me not to their counsels, and let me not fall by them. Who has set scourges over my thoughts, and the discipline of wisdom over my heart, that they spared me not for my ignorances, and the past not by my sins." You see that? So you want the Lord to scourge your thoughts. A scourge is a whip, right? Just like how Yahweh Shah scourged the men that were in the temple in John chapter 2, right? Whipping them, right? You want the Lord to whip your thoughts, right? The ones that's undesirable, right?
uh,
Uh, but
beautiful.
yeah, we can go back into that in Proverbs 20.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 20, and verse number 6. And it
Mm-hmm.
reads, "Most men will proclaim every one his own goodness, but a faithful man who can find?"
So when you read this verse in verse 6, and when you compare translations, they all say the same thing, right? Most men will proclaim everyone his own goodness, meaning everybody is going to be saying, like, okay, yeah, I'm a faithful friend, right? Oh, I'm going to be down for you, man, right? I'm gonna be, even people in the truth, maybe, right? I'm going to be down for you all the time, right? Oh, that's my op right there, right? That's my brother, right? That's my brother. I'm gonna die for him, right? I'm gonna die for him. I'm gonna die for her. I'm gonna die for him, right? But are you really with them? Because that's why in the latter verse it says, "But a faithful man, who can really find?" It's like, who can find? Who can really find a faithful man? Who can really find that faithful brother that's really going to be with you until the end? People in the world even say that, right? Man, a lot of snakes out here. You know what I'm saying? A lot of, hey, we're the real ones. You know what I'm saying? Where the real ones at, right? But come, it's lucky. I'm gonna be right back. It's lucky. You got it, though.
Con, con, right? So pick up on what the brother is saying, man. Right? Most men will proclaim every one his own goodness, man. You got a lot of men, they'll talk themselves up. You got a lot of men, they'll boast of their works. right? They'll talk about how they did this for that brother or how they helped their sister, right? So on and so forth. Everyone is willing to talk about the good things that they do, right? Or good things that they're willing to do. But how many men actually understand, right, that it takes a lot deeper, right? And it takes a lot more, right, to be a faithful friend in that day, right? When the odds are stacked against you, when your back is against the wall. That's why it's not wise to allow yourself to speak up of yourself or exalt yourself above measure because you're setting yourself up to be cast down. Right? This is the book of Job, chapter 9 and verse 20, and it reads, If I justify myself, mine own mouth shall condemn me. If I say I am perfect, it shall also prove me perverse, man. And that's plain upon tables, right? If you justify yourself, if you continue to talk on your own goodness, man, if you make it seem as if, right, you're just this righteous individual, right, and you propping yourself up on a pedestal, right, you're gonna prove yourself to be perverse, man. You're gonna literally end up casting yourself down and setting yourself up for damnation, right? Even Peter, man, the Lord, Peter, right? He was telling the Lord, man, how he'll never switch up on the Lord, right? And what the Lord tell him, man, hey, thou shalt surely deny me thrice, man, roughly paraphrasing, right? So even, Peter, one of the disciples, right, that walked with Yahushua, one of his right hand guys, right, literally was proclaiming his goodness, right, was proclaiming that he will die for the Lord, was proclaiming that he will do anything and everything when it came to Yahushua, man, right? But when SHIT hit the fan, when things got tough, right? You see that Peter, he denied Yahushua thrice, as Yahushua prophesied that he would, man. Right. So these things you gotta lay to heart and keep in mind, right? Because if these things happen unto the men that actually walked with Yahushua, how much more you in these last days? I'm gonna read it again. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 20, and verse number 6. Most men will proclaim every one his own goodness, but a faithful man who can find, man. That's why you even had Paul saying in Second Corinthians, right? Let me grab it real quick, right? You think
Um,
Paul was just constantly boasting about how on fire he was, man? You think Paul was saying, trying to make others feel bad, right? About his works compared to their works? Man. Of course you had Paul, having to do what he had to do sometimes, right, to catch others on fire, right? But through the Spirit, man, Paul, he rather glory in something else, and this is what he rather glory in. It's the book of Second Corinthians chapter 12 and verse 5. And it reads, Of such a one will I glory, yet myself I will not glory, but in mine infirmities, man. You got to glory in your infirmities in this thing. You got to proclaim your infirmities, the things that you're not good at, right? The things that you need to work on, right? The things that you're lacking in, man. Right? That's what you should be proclaiming on a daily basis. Not you proclaiming, all the good things, how you damn went and gave alms, right? You taking down selfies with the poor that are poverty stricken, right? And you doing all these things for vain thoughts and vain hopes and clout, right? You proclaiming your goodness, man, but are you truly faithful, right? When things get tough, man, and that's the question that you got to ask yourself. You got it, King.
Khan, that's right. That's right. I was only here for a little bit, but Khan, with what I'm hearing, hey, those are mighty points. Those are mighty points. All right. Khan, but did you bring out Proverbs 17 and 17?
You got it, King.
Okay, let me bring that out. All right. It says Proverbs 17 and 17, a friend loveth at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. You see that? So the real brother, the real man, that real friend that's really gonna be with you, right, until the end, you'll know when you go through things, right? You'll know, you know what I'm saying? That's what people say. Like I know my real friends when, times were hard for me, these people were still here with me, right? That's how I know these are my real friends, the real ones, you know what I'm saying? Like how they say, right? The real ones. So kind of faithful man, who can really find, because a lot of people, they faked out, man, right? They were really, they weren't really with you, you know what I'm saying? Like when times got hard. For example, like let me think of it. Yeah, like I think the brother brought out the example of Judas Iscariot, right? He wasn't a faithful friend, right? In fact, he betrayed Yahushua, but he was with Yahushua at all times, right? Except for that moment when he betrayed him. You know what I'm saying? So, go and read that again. Proverbs 17:17. A friend loveth at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. You see that? That's your real brother right there. That's with you, even in times of adversity.
Mighty point. Mighty point, man. You want me to go back to the Proverbs 20?
Yeah, Proverbs 20 verse 7.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 20 and verse number 7. The just man walketh in his integrity. His children are blessed after him.
So yeah, you got to walk in your integrity, just like how Job said, right? I'm gonna get that real quick.
Bring it up.
Job 31. Job 31 and verse 6. I'm gonna get straight to the point. Verse 5, because I kind of run out of time. But it says, "If I have walked with vanity, or if my foot have hasted deceit, let me be weighed in an even balance, that God may know mine integrity." See that? So you gotta, hey, Job was like, look, if I walked in vanity, right? If I was found, if I'm found with sin, right? If I'm wicked, right? I'm saying, if my foot hates the deceit, let me be weighed in an even balance, that God may know mine integrity, right? Basically, he's saying, let the Most High put me on trial. You know what I'm saying? Let him refine me. Because at one point in time, Job even said, hey, if I be proven, I'm going to be found as gold. You know what I'm saying? Roughly paraphrased. So he's saying, look, let the Most High know mine integrity. Because Job, he knew that, look, my intentions are, look, I have integrity. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing the right things even when people are not looking at me, right? So, you gotta the wise man. He's gonna walk in his integrity just like Job.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 112 and verse 2. His seed shall be mighty upon earth. The generation of the upright shall be blessed, man. Right? And in order for you to have integrity, man, you have to be upright. Right? You have to stand for something, or you gonna fall for anything, man. Right? And if you have integrity in this thing, right, that means you truly firmly believe in whatever it is that you're putting your hand to, man. Right? So the Lord said, let me read it again. Proverbs 20 and 7, the just man walketh in his integrity. Right? You must have integrity in this thing, man. Right? You shouldn't be a pushover. You shouldn't be what they call a noodle bat. You have to have some type of integrity, right? And some fortitude about yourself. I'll put it like that, And it reads, his children are blessed after him, man. Right? Because even in the book of Sirach, I forget the chapter, right? You even have a precept that goes into how a man is known, by his children, roughly paraphrasing. So the things that you do and the way that you conduct yourself and the integrity that you walk in on a daily basis, that's going to set up, the everlasting legacy of not only yourself, but your children as well, man. Right? And how they're going to be known and how they're going to be looked at, for generations to come.
That's right. That's right. And it says what? And because that's a good point too. And if you walk in the Most High's integrity, right, the Most High will also look after your children. You know what I'm saying? Because the Most High, he can save your household, right? But this is 2 Ezra chapter 2, and verse 28. The heathen shall envy thee, but they shall not be able to do anything against. There's like nothing against thee, saith the Lord. My hand shall cover thee, so that thy children shall not see hell. See that? So, brothers and sisters that, may have children in this truth, they're doing the right thing. They're walking in integrity as much as they can, striving for perfection. And guess what? The Most High is going to what? The Most High is going to cause or basically protect their children as well, right? It says that what? My hand shall cover thee, so that thy children should not see hell. And hell is not going into, hell is not going into damn Dante's Inferno in an underground realm where you go if you're bad. Con, it's just going into what they're not going to see the grave, right? Because that's what hell is. They're not going to see death, right? They're not going to see the captivity that we've been in, right? They're going to be saved, essentially. But con,
That's right. That's right. I give one more precept on that. It's Sirach chapter 30. And I start at verse 3. It reads, he that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friends he shall rejoice of him. Though his father die, yet he is as though he were not dead, for he hath left one behind him that is like himself, man. So if you train up your children, right, you train up your son, right, not only are you training him up in a way that's going to grieve the enemy, but when you give up the ghost, right, and you enter that sleep, right, the Lord said it would be as though you were not dead because you have raised up a son that is just like yourself, man. Right? So all the mighty men in the nation of Israel should be striving to raise their sons up just as themselves, right? Because you will be able to live on forever through your son. Right? That's why you have the mighty, mighty, mighty chosen seed line from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, which is the whole reason why the nation of Israel has been blessed in the first place, because of that mighty seed line, right? And the mighty acts of our forefather Abraham, right? Which later was passed down, to Isaac, which later was passed down unto Jacob, man. Right? So you have to train up your children, right? In that same integrity, right? And mental toughness that you have, so that they can be blessed forever and ever.
That's right. That's right. Con, mighty point, man. Hey, all praise. But yeah, that was, just going to verse 7, Proverbs 20, verses 1 through 7, kind of in-depth breakdown, really. In-depth breakdown with mighty brother Yeshmaya from WFI Atlanta. It was cool to have you on here. The water for reading as well. The water for bringing that edification and also covering up for me. I had to go help with the groceries and stuff like that, but that I had to get ready to go to the damn, this practice thing. But with that, this is Brother Yasha
Brother Yeshmaya.
Coming back to y'all with yet another video through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shalom Mashak Yahweh. Lord willing, this is edifying. Shalom.
Shalom.